bridges the worlds of modern science, energetic healing, and lived transformation. For over 33 years, he worked as a business analyst, corporate trainer for Fortune 500 companies and international organizations, including 2 years at the United Nations in Vienna, before experiencing a profound health collapse that reshaped his life's purpose. That breakdown became his breakthrough. Over the past decade, Greg immersed himself in functional healing, circadian biology, detoxification, and nervous system repair, testing every method on himself until he rebuilt from the root up. Along the way, he became a Mind Valley certified health coach and a certified practitioner of theta healing and quantum touch energetic healing, modalities focused on identifying and clearing subconscious blocks and stored trauma. He now works with individuals and groups.
Excellent.
And with that, thank you so much for being here, Greg. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Love being able to speak to people who can appreciate, um, how do you say, a greater level of well-being. So I'd like to start with, I could talk about myself, but how about we start with something interactive? And I always like to have a little bit of engagement. I know what it's like to sit in front of a speaker and listen, and like after a while, the mind and the body kind of zones out. So I like to be interactive. Hope you guys enjoy that too. What I have here to start with is my own alchemy of a breathwork practice. And I find this very invigorating and energizing and opening up at the same time. So you can do this standing or sitting. And the way it works, there's two elements involved. I'll just describe it briefly and then we can go through it together a few times. It's a breath deep into your stomach. I don't know if anyone's used to doing that. It's also known as like a Qigong breath or a Kung Fu breath. You almost had me right in that previous description. There was some Kung Fu in there. So the breath, you're going to push the breath down. So as you breathe in, the stomach comes out a little bit. It's just a small breath. And then continuing and expanding the middle of the chest with the rest. And then finally, the third half, expanding the upper part of the chest. Maybe we could all just do that part the first time together. So breathe in slowly and gently. No need to push hard or fast. So into the stomach, into the middle of the chest, and then the upper chest. You can maybe even lift the chin a little bit. It's okay. And then relax. Now, probably best to breathe through the nose. I'm blowing out my mouth just to emphasize. So one more time. Nice. Okay. Now we're going to combine that with what's called a Kundalini style breath. And what this does, it gets your spine moving a little bit. So we're going to, it's a breath that think of yourself as you breathe in, you're arching your back. As you breathe out, you're kind of punching down. So, and again, through the nose is better unless you want to have a really powerful holotropic experience, but we're not doing that this morning. So in through the nose. So we have these two different things going on. That's why I'm introducing them separately, just to keep it interesting and not too confusing. So just try that a couple more times. You're arching your back, opening up, breathing in, and then breathing out. Now combining these two, so you're breathing into the stomach, breathing into the chest, upper chest, and arching back, and then slowly breathing out. And again, into your stomach, middle chest, upper chest as you're arching back. Okay, hopefully that doesn't raise too many questions. Let's do it 5 more times, and it doesn't have to be fast. It's a different effect when it's fast or slow, but we'll just do it medium pace, 5 more times together. One, two, just really, not too hard. 3, 4. Last one. So kind of flushes the body with oxygen. I don't know about you guys, but I could feel a warmth coming through my whole body. There's like a tingling, just a few breaths like that. I have a little bit of maybe it's the coffee. No, it's the breath. So again, hope you enjoyed that. So I'm going to run you through something about ultimate well-being. I am a certified integrative health coach. And as Mary Grace mentioned in the little introduction, um, I had my, how would you say, revelation moment decades ago, and I just felt awful, and I didn't want to go to doctors. I instinctively knew that they're all about covering up symptoms, and I like to get down to the root cause. So I started out with a powerful detox on myself. I found the main first detox available at that time. It was a marathon. I can tell you it was pretty tough. 4 weeks eating less and less food until the last week, basically fasting, just with maybe some juices and the herbs and formulas, taking from this different powerful cleanse. And what I found is that I lost a lot of weight, but it was from the inside. It wasn't like there's a little belly fat, but I lost weight from the inside, which was really interesting. So the whole gut really tucked in a lot. And I went from a 38 to a 32 belt size. Was very happy.
Wow.
And felt incredible,
Mhm.
not just, sorry? Okay. Not just the physical proportion size, but I had more energy. My brain worked better. My digestion was so much better. I wasn't burping and getting indigestion so much. From there, I just realized this is the way to live. And I learned so much more. I kept studying. And I guess you could say I started biohacking on myself long before it was a cliche term. Maybe some of you have or haven't heard of the term biohacking, but the guy who invented bulletproof coffee, Dave Asprey, started that up some 10 years ago, and he's made a lot of money and made it popular to think about your health even more so. Um, so, on that note, I would like you guys to take a moment, think about why would you like to be healthy? It almost now at first it sounds like, well, duh, I want to be healthy. Who doesn't want to be healthy? But really, why? I was listening to Carolyn Mace the other day. She really drilled into people, are we just following a fad? Especially in Southern California, everyone is, rushing to their yoga class to relax, and, tossing down their matcha latte, thinking that they're doing better than coffee, and preaching their diet to everybody else like it's the only thing in the world. That to me demonstrates like virtue signaling. Everything is outwards. Like, look at me, I'm doing all these cool things to be healthy. I must be cool. So what I'm emphasizing is, why do you really want to be healthy? What does it mean to be healthy? What's the point of working on our health? And some people do more or less. Obviously, if a person's in pain, if you're not feeling well, then clearly, okay, I want this to get better. I'm not happy with how my body feels. But this is for you to contemplate. Really, what's your root cause? Some people say, well, okay, I want to be able to play sports or dance or play with my kids or grandkids. Okay, that's great. Um, I'll offer up to you, and this is a little bit where I'm heading with this presentation. When your physical body really gets truly healthy, not just demonstrating, oh, look, I'm doing all these wonderful things. Um, it has a tremendously influence on your emotions, on your sense of um, who you are and how you flow through the world. You know, are you happy? And are you empowered? Do you feel your passion? Can you live your passion? Do you know your passion? That's a huge one, right? What is it that really turns me on in life? What gets me out of bed and saying, yes, another day, I'm going to make it happen? Um, I would suggest that your physical body, we have these physical bodies for some reason. That's another deep topic. We might not go there today. But we hear about like the mind-body interface or the gut-brain connection. I'll go a little deeper into that. Um, but just to finish up on this essential topic, because really knowing the why in a lot of things that we do is so important. We don't necessarily get clear on that right away, and then that's why sometimes things falter. People might start something out and not finish it. The why is not really clear. My why in health is kind of twofold. For one, yes, I connect into the energetic, the spiritual component of what's in this body, because really we're starting to understand we're not just a meat bag, a water sack. We're actually more electrical than we are chemical. And we have different layers of bodies. We've got etheric body, we've got an astral body, soul body, and more and more refined bodies out there. We can't necessarily see them with our eyes because our eyes have such a tiny spectrum that we perceive. But for instance, if a person is experiencing a strong emotion or something is wrong in their body, people, so-called psychics, with different levels of psychic ability, can sometimes see your aura. And they can say, hey, I can see that this energy is really lopsided on you. Or, over here, you've got something weird in your aura. And they're just saying beyond the regular visual light spectrum. And that is very much affected by your physical health, because all of these bodies are now compacted and compressed, and we have this package of different layers of bodies that we can work with, and they're like links in a chain. They all affect each other. My goal in terms of spiritual advancement actually is very much affected by the strength of my physical body, the quality of my meditation, of my peace of mind is incredibly important. If my body is agitated, if my digestion is off, something's going wrong. A really simple example, and I won't belabor this anymore, but anyone ever go out on a boat to have a good time, and then they find they got seasick? Guess what? You're not having a good time anymore. Anyone who's gotten nauseous or seasick on a boat, the rest of the day is shot until that goes away. You don't want to do anything but get rid of that nausea. It's very hard to focus. You can't enjoy, like, look at the dolphin. I don't care about the dolphin. I want to throw up. So really obvious example there. Get clear on the why. Why do you want to be healthy? Super important. So I'll go into a little bit more So what does it mean to, you know, have a body that's working or not working? What is it that we're dealing with that helps us to get ahead of the game? And what is the game right now? I'm going to sum it up shortly because I know I don't have a huge amount of time here, and I can definitely gone over the time limit many times. So I'm trying to compact this material for you. I say they're like in modern society, we've never been faced with such a toxic world. Now we hear about that. Yes, it's out there. There's plastic, there's chemtrails, there's pesticide. What does it mean for our bodies, though? What it means is, with all of that going on, number one, people are accumulating a lot of heavy metals. And that's not a really exciting topic. It's like, what heavy metals are you dealing with right now? Right. But the thing about that is it's a root cause. And as someone who helps other people improve their well-being and upgrade their feeling of their life and their health, I don't want to put a band-aid. I never wanted to do the band-aid. And that's what kind of created who I am and my protocols. I drill down to the very deepest root cause. And there are toxicities at the very deepest level. And one of them, as I'm speaking about, is heavy metals. Things like aluminum, mercury, lead. If anyone's ever had the amalgam silver fillings in their teeth, those things are bleeding out, they're leaking out 24 hours a day. They have to come out. Unfortunately, can be expensive, not fun. Find a dentist who knows how to do it properly. And then, I have a device. That's an in-person thing. I can actually see what heavy metals you've got in your body. It uses light. It reads the tissues in your hand so that it can actually give you a complete readout and say, this is what you have and this is how much. Then we can work on removing that. There's mold, there's pesticides, there's EMF, and a really exciting topic, parasites. They've been getting a little bit more airtime these days. And the reason I list all of these is because they're working as a team against us. And if we don't do something about that, a simple analogy is trying to walk or run down the block and you're wearing cement shoes, but you don't know you've got cement shoes. You can't see them like, well, with real cement shoes, you would see them. But with this going on in the body, it's sucking up our resource, it's consuming our nutrition, it is excreting their toxicity further into our body. And people wonder why they might feel cranky, irritable, moody, wake up with brain fog, skin problems, definitely parasite. And surprise, surprise, most cancers are caused by parasites. So that's why actually curing any kind of a cancer symptom is very, very simple. It's ignored by modern medicine, and they don't like to hear about that, but yeah, parasites. So a lot of information going on here. Just want to give you that really important perspective of, looking at what are root causes, what's dragging people down. And these things come up with all kinds of symptoms. Low energy. The body starts gaining more weight. It's trying to store toxicity. The liver can only do so much. And if we don't help it clear out all the toxicity and heavy metal, as it starts breaking down, the symptoms come out. You can't treat the symptom. It's not going to really make the body better. You can take a painkiller or you put some cream on your skin or whatever, try to lose weight. But again, that's not the root cause. Super important. I do hammer on about that sometimes. So a lot of things, this is how things can affect your mood, your energy, your intuition. Say, you're making a decision. Well, I'll keep it really simple. what food you want to eat. And maybe you're at a party or a potluck or a buffet. So, you have this selection of different foods. What do you crave? A lot of people love to grab, the bread roll. They want the mashed potatoes. Especially they're not going to skip dessert. Who is actually asking for that high carb, high sugar food? Who is it when you are in the supermarket that grabs the bag of chips? Um, what is it inside of you that is asking for that? And I'm going to suggest it's the parasites. It's not you. Your body doesn't crave junk food. Your body is not craving high sugar that hasn't really even been around for most of the evolution of our bodies. It's a very recent creation. The parasites, as they develop a bigger and bigger population inside of us, have their own cravings. This is what they like. And they are capable of helping us, or I will also say making us crave things that they want to eat. That midnight snack of having a piece of bread or whatever it is, 100% parasite. Our bodies really don't thrive well on those things. So, and then if you extrapolate that to other things, maybe you're considering, what to do, where to go, make a decision. I would suggest if you have all these things, this turmoil in the body, your ability to actually discern what is good for you, what really is your heart's speaking, could be influenced as well by these things going on inside of you, these imbalances. So if you're wondering, what's the benefit of having a highly balanced, cleaned out body, making better decisions, better choices, your inner yes, you're actually knowing what is your inner yes and not some other creatures going on in you. Very important. So more food for thought. I would like now to switch gears a little bit and talk about the energetic element. So you've heard about Kung Fu. Some of you have maybe tried now things like Qigong, breath work, Kundalini work, any kind of meditation work. These things are working on the etheric energy body. And again, with that connection, if your physical body is in good shape, then that next level, that more refined body, your etheric body, is also going to be influenced by your physical. So if something is blocked physically, it will create a block. So in other words, the acupuncturist might come along and say, well, your kidney meridian is blocked or some energy's here, and they'll stick some needles, give you some herbs. So that's why that works. And then you feel better physically as well because of the connection of these things. So I don't know if anyone has actually experienced what it's like to feel your own chi energy. There's a couple of exercises, and I'd like to get interactive again and show you guys a little exercise you can do, demonstrate it to yourself. So what we're going to do is if you can, in other words, to get the most result here, it helps to clear out the energy a little bit. If you're capable of standing up, or you could do this a little bit in your chair, it's just sweeping out the old energy, and then it'll give us a little more ability to feel the good stuff. It's real simple. You can either do it yourself or someone else. Well, at the moment, it'll be just ourselves. And you're going to be on both sides. Like you can start with your forehead pressing in, coming out to the sides, go to the top of the head, pulling out and down. You can do this with me, pulling just from the center, pulling out. You're coming here to the shoulders. It's a good stress relief too, if you're feeling stressed or something. Throw it down. You can take your hands, and now I'm going to get fancy and try to show you this further back. It's just to sweep down the front of the body, out the big toe, if you bend out all that way. And it's real simple, down the sides, not the center. On the front of the legs, out the big toe. Whoever wants to play along, you're welcome. Feels really nice a few times. You can get a little more fancy here, coming around the back. Put your hands down the back side and down the sides, and just shake off your arms a little bit. Let your body move. And one more thing, and I'm going to show you a really simple, easy, but very excellent Qigong move. It's really nice to do in the morning, get your body moving. It's kind of looking like this. We're just going from, and you're kind of shifting the weight a little bit onto your feet, like 75-25. Breathing into your stomach. Big breath. Now, we can't do it the full length, but I suggest if you can do this for at least 5 minutes, even up to 10 minutes, and let your arms swing gently, be aware of your shoulders, relaxing, let them go, breathing. And what this is doing, moving the energy, relaxing the body, invigorating your energy. See a few people doing it. I like that. And if you're in your chair, I guess you could do a little bit in the chair, the swinging of the arms. It still could be done. And it's just a back and forth motion, real simple. All right. Already, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling myself more awake, a little bit more alive. So, just a little bit of curiosity. How many people, maybe you could hold up a finger or something, otherwise it'll make the hand. Everyone will have a question on this thing. How many people have felt the chi energy, like a chi ball in their hands? How many people have actually felt their chi energy? Okay, I see a couple there. That's pretty cool. So we're going to do, this is probably something similar to those of you who have felt it before. Take your hands, rub them together. And let yourself breathe deep and slow. Through the nose is good. Breathe into your stomach again if you feel into that. A little bit faster, feel some heat. Okay, now stop. Your hands will be a little tingly. Bring them apart. Just bring them apart like I am, just a couple of inches. Relax your hands so your hands are just open enough that they're open. They're not tight. Relax your wrists. You can even move. Relax your shoulders. Holding your hands like this. Feel the space between your hands. A little space between the hands. And now, with your imagination, because your energy does follow your mind, imagine you're holding a balloon in your hands. And as you breathe in and out very gently, the balloon expands and contracts very gently. And the important trick here is moving your hands very slowly, because we're not sensing for the muscles and the skin so much as the energy. So we have to be very gentle with the physical body as we tune into the energy body. And you can move your hands gently like this. Maintain that feeling of that ball balloon between your hands. And it's a very slow, gentle movement. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling something there. Is anyone not feeling this? It's like your hands are holding water. It's like kind of moving through water. Anyone not feeling it? Oh, wow, you're all feeling it. That's pretty cool. Nice. That's your that's your chi. That is a really easy demonstration of your chi. If you want to get a little more sensation, we're not going to go deeply into that because we're covering a lot of different things today. Another way of opening up the energetic feeling in your hands is like, the movement of putting a light bulb in and twisting the light bulb, or the way the Queen of England likes to wave from her carriage. So doing this for 30 seconds also wakes up that chi energy in your hands, gives you a little bit more sensation. And then when you stop and hold it, you go, oh yeah, waking up, waking up. So that's kind of fun. A little bit of a chi demonstration. Shows how your body is really, it's more electric even than it is chemical. We have all this water, which by the way is in a special lattice form called your myofascia, which holds your emotion. The electrics and the electric charge, the chi holds your water in different patterns. And that's important because whenever you have any subconscious element happen to you, like, well, most of those are from your childhood, up until age 7, we got programmed, and that's telling us who we are. Or maybe you had an accident, or you had an something really is emotional trauma. And of course, if you live on Earth, I don't think we can avoid these things. If we don't know how to process it and get it out of us, it gets locked in our tissue. And for instance, somebody who has been grieving, their lungs will start getting tight and they might have lung infection. Someone who's had a lot of stress, anxiety, they might start finding they're holding their stomach quite tight. The body starts to think, okay, this has to be normal. I'm always in stress. I'm not just running from a lion or, climbing a tree to escape some flood or something, but now it's always running from a lion. I'm always hanging by a tree branch. And that starts to break down the body when we're always in this chronic stress. And maybe it's just a little bit, right? Maybe it's just the way we react to things. Like, maybe at the DMV, it did take 3 hours. And at the end of 3 hours at the DMV, most people are not going to be so happy and feel like they're having a wonderful day. And the problem there is that how long do they carry that? Or maybe someone cut you off driving in LA. That never happens, but anyway. So now, how do we handle that, right? Someone might be pissed off and maybe they really get cut off. Maybe the other person honked at them and, it's like, oh my God, what do I do to deserve this? That can stay with a person for some time, depending on how you process it. Well, guess what? When a person's hanging on to that irritation, that is the stress that your body is, and it might be caught up here. Maybe or it depends on where you hold your stress. If it's one thing after another and you're reacting to things, then that is going to continue to put stress on that part of the body and create symptoms, digestion problems. Maybe you're not able to express yourself and you're always frustrated that you're not, saying to people what you really feel, speaking your truth. your throat starts to get locked up. The thyroid starts to shut down. The tension in the neck becomes chronic. And I'm just kind of, some of these things I'm sure you've already heard about and you know, but I'm covering a lot of areas here just to demonstrate the mind-body connection is very intimate and it's constant. So what I like to do with anyone who is interested in upgrading their health in any way is we look at all these elements. If we ignore any one of these, you can imagine it is really difficult to actually get your energy back. And again, coming back to that why, I want to be empowered. I have a gift for the world. I want to be able to, express that, acting, music, service to others. It's how we're designed. And if we are weak in our bodies and locked down and distracted by pain, it's very hard to give that gift to the world. We're too busy experiencing the discomfort. So there are ways to, again, how would you say? It's like detective work. And I use a variety of means, working with the subconscious. Maybe some of you have heard of theta healing, the emotion code. So dealing with, the subconscious, getting into that root cause and approaching it by cleansing out biochemically, removing the parasites. It's quite a job. I think you're starting to get a picture here. I enjoy it for whatever interesting reason. My passion is to go deeply into how to empower myself and others to really live the life that they desire, express their powers and their energy for the rest of the world. So with
Greg,
that,
Greg,
yes.
you have 10 more minutes.
10 minutes.
And
Okay.
that would be if you wanted to open the floor for questions at any point, this would be the point to do that.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that heads up. I was beginning to wonder. I want to leave you that we do want to have some questions for sure. I love that. I'm going to leave you with, and I don't know if this will be written down, but there's a little, and for lack of a better word, I'm going to say biohacking protocol. I'm going to take 1 minute to tell you things you can do that are almost free and incredibly beneficial to upgrade your energy on a daily basis. And here's what it looks like. In the morning, when you get out of bed, besides whatever else you might do with your meditation, your practice, highly recommend, and this might not be easy at first, cold shower. Cold as it can be. Now, everyone's going to say, oh my God. Now, maybe some of you do that. The way that you ease into it is start with whatever's your normal temperature. At the end of your shower, turn it to dial as cool as you can and just, rinse off and then let the cool be the temperature you finish with. And then when you step out of the shower, you'll feel warm and you'll feel great. It'll energize you. As you get more experienced, I just do cold shower. It hits me, it's like, whoo, and then I'm like feeling it. If you're depressed, if you're low energy, oh my God, you'll start singing in the shower for sure. That's what makes you sing in the shower, let me tell you. Big glass of electrolyte, room temperature or warm. I suggest never cold, at least 16 ounces, put some electrolyte in it. Toss that down, lemon, coconut water, amazing for you. First thing in the morning, you want to flush everything out. Don't reach for the coffee right away. Next, get outside. Hopefully you're getting out just as the sun's rising. We had a beautiful day in LA today after the rain is gone. Get the sunlight in your eyes, in your face. Get your bare feet on the ground. You can do this movement I showed you while you're standing there, at least 5 minutes. So you're getting the natural elements to wake up your body, get it moving, get it grounded. And then just to finish off in the evening, if you do have any issues sleeping, you want warm. You want like a warm shower, or if you can, a warm bath. Maybe even better is a warm sauna. Very best would be an infrared sauna. With that, I open the floor. Would love to hear what's going on with you guys. And somehow we'll handle the hand raising questions. For instance, maybe you have a specific issue going on. You'll say, Greg, I've got this happening, or maybe a question about what I just mentioned to you or other practices. Yeah,
Greg,
yes.
I want to apologize. I missed your introduction that I was supposed to do. I got an important phone call right at the exact time, and it's just life happens.
Right.
Anyways, I wanted to tell you, since working with you, uh, lost 15 pounds so far and layers of heaviness that I didn't even know I was carrying. I feel calmer, clearer, and more at peace.
Hey,
And I haven't even completed yet. This is a very powerful process. And I've just done the colon part, not the liver part.
right.
So my hat goes off to you. I appreciate your work. I think you're the real deal.
I love that, Samuel. You've been a pleasure to work with. You're very diligent, you're committed to this, and that's really what it takes. I tell people I can lead the horse to water, but I'm not going to kick the horse in the ass. I see some hands. Thank you, Samuel. That's fantastic. I love to hear that. That means that
Greg, we see hands up in the corner. If you note here,
too.
we have Melanie is first and Sarah is
Thank you.
second.
Thank you. Thank you for sequencing. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, I loved your presentation. That was just fantastic. All the chi exercise was woohoo, very powerful. I made lots of notes. The cement body, that really hit me. I thought I was just
Yeah.
aging.
It's so simple and amazing, right? I love how
Yes,
people can feel that
absolutely.
so
And
quickly.
brain fog. I would like to know more. Where are you?
I'm in just northwest of LA, you know where the valley is, San Fernando Valley, Chatsworth. So I'm just a little bit past that Simi Valley near Moore Park, Thousand Oaks area.
Excellent. And how do you consult your patients in person or online, or what do you do?
I've worked with people who were only this one guy, he was in Vietnam, so we never could meet physically at all. And some resources, I would tell him where he could find local things for that. There is a benefit to meet up once or twice in person. I've got that special diagnostic tool for your heavy metals. And that is one of the things I feel is so important because it tells us where you are at the starting gate and what we're up against. So we can meet up for that. I'm happy to like drive some distance, depending on the amount of distance, meeting up halfway. It's a very portable device. If you're anywhere in the SoCal area, I'm sure that's possible. And then sometimes, in the course of working with people, they might say, "Hey, I'd love to get some help with my movement." There's like 8 types of movement that is very essential for us to do. It's not just stretching or hitting the gym or running. It's all of those things, and then people can, join me for a little training.
Well,
Okay. I'm wondering, is
you'll be
Mary Grace?
you'll be sending material to Mary Grace that'll be sent to the group. Let's go to Sarah.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Yeah, I'll send material.
Sarah.
Yes. I think Melanie had another question.
Oh, did you have another question?
Okay. She says she's good. Thank you, Greg. This was a wonderful presentation, very informative. I love the practice of getting outside first thing in the morning and getting sun in my eyes and standing on the ground.
Yes.
However, I can't, first of all, I don't have a ground to stand on. And also in, the fall and winter time, it's kind of hard to get the sun first thing in the morning. And it has a huge effect on my sleep. I know that. So I'm wondering if there are any other hacks or recommendations that you have in place of those practices when
Um,
it's not possible?
right. Well, yes, depends on your budget. They have these light panels, and you can get a very bright light panel. It includes ultraviolet, and you can stand in front of that. As far as grounding, I do have access to like a grounding sheet. You can put it on your bed. So that's pretty cool. That means all night long you're actually grounding. Or you can get a grounding pad and just stand on that. Not quite as good, but still it's part way there. Another avenue is when it's midday and you can get out, head to the park. Midday sun is incredibly good if the sun's shining, if it's warm enough, you know, undress as much as socially acceptable, or how you feel. Get the sun on your skin midday when it's warm. Walk in the park barefoot. So good for you. 15 minutes of sunlight. The only thing is be a little bit careful of the face. I put a little bit of healthy face cream on or a hat. The skin ages the face. Rest of your body, I mean, your face still loves it, but the skin will age the face. So the rest of the body is better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that all, Sarah? Or do you have another question on redirect?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Eugenia.
Thank you, Greg. This was just fascinating. You made it so understandable, the mind-body connection. I love what you said about the mind-body connection is intimate and constant. The constancy really struck me. What I'm really curious about is the parasites. Like,
Yeah.
how are we getting rid of those? I missed
How's
that
it?
part.
What's the question? How was it? What?
The parasites, how do we eliminate those, get rid of those? I
Ah,
mean,
yes. Well, I've got a very powerful detox protocol. Samuel can attest. He's in the middle tail end of it. And it's not just about taking one thing to hit the parasite. That's very important, because then you can have what's called a healing crisis. Parasites, they're going to fight back. They don't like that. And if they die, they fight back when they're dying, and they release all kinds of their toxic nastiness. So you don't want to just take a pill like ivermectin that was made popular. It will hit them, but they will hit back. So we can't go into the details there, but some of the materials I'm following up with will answer some of those questions. I've got different levels of protocols depending on what you need to do it right.
so it's going to be a lot diet, working with what's in your system and how to flush
Right.
it.
Yeah, you
Thank
get a
you.
little idea there. Yeah, more than that,
Yeah.
but yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of the allotted presentation time. Usually you'll be sending some information about your practice to Mary Grace, who will distribute it to everyone in the group. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of interest. So with that, I'd like to have the group please thank Greg Wolfe for his presentation today. This was extraordinary and everybody really enjoyed it. I know that. And so thank you for being here today and offering what you did. And with that, we will move on to the next final piece of the meeting, which to Mary Grace and to the business meeting.